Hello pandas of the internet, my name is Panda-chan. I'm a full-time artist-ish, a part-time cosplayer, and someone whose goal this month is to get to 500 subscribers. We're at 300, well, halfway to 400, and it would be so much fun and I would be so grateful if we could reach 500 by the end of this month. In today's horror story, we see that even earlier editions of D&D are not immune to funny hijinks. So, if you're ready, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. This RPG horror story was posted by Katie Ferry. The DM didn't let me take common. This happened in Kansas, back in the mid-90s. All players involved were in high school, aka we were young and stupid. So, while this was absolutely a horror story at the time, looking back on it, I find a lot of things to laugh about and learn from. I have always been kind of obsessed with playing characters that are a little more out there with regards to ancestry/race. Yes, go off, valid, I agree. I don't remember how or why anymore, but I wanted to play an elven werewolf. And the DM came back to me with a race from one of the bazillion side books that AD&D was so fond of. I don't remember the race's name anymore, but basically they were a large wolf that could turn into an elf and had a lot of lycanthropic traits, like an immunity to damage that wasn't magic or silver. To balance this, I would not be allowed to start with Common as one of my starting languages. I said that was fine and rolled up a druid. I did not realize that I would not start with any languages in common with the other characters, of which, at this point, I only remember the group's paladin, and that only vaguely. One of the first encounters of the game involved a slave caravan rolling into town. The paladin had caught word that they would be coming, so rallied the town into defensive positions, setting up barricades and getting anyone good with a bow to maim them. My character had a bow, so she communicated to me, complete with hand gestures, where to be. I made an intelligence check to understand, succeeded, figured out that something big was happening, and went to where I was told to be, without the paladin or her player catching on to the fact that my character didn't understand common. Slaver caravan rolls up and comes to a stop outside of the town. Paladin calls out to all archers, "Hold your fire!" Well, I made an intelligence check to understand and rolled a nat 1. Looked at the DM, who gave me an exasperated sigh and nodded. I declared I was shooting the caravan leader and rolled a nat 20. Would have died right there from return fire, but none of the arrows were silver, so I didn't. Paladin approaches my character while he's pulling arrows out of himself and starts yelling at him. I didn't need to make an intelligence check for my character to realize he'd fucked up. But then Paladin gets into his face and demands, "What do you have to say for yourself?" I then had to explain out of character that my character didn't speak common. Paladin's player now gets in my face and demands to know why I didn't take common, and I had to explain that the DM had forbidden me from taking it. DM was forced to admit that yeah, that was his fault. We had to half-bake an excuse for the paladin not to play or kill me, and the DM took care from this first encounter not to wind up too hostile after that. I didn't remember a lot else from this campaign aside from going to the plane of Infinite Forest and an ugly encounter with a werewolf. Bad times, but fun memories. I gotta say, I am a fan of unusual characters, but not being able to speak common and communicate with your party is not something I have ever experienced. My sister did play Kenku once, so She could only repeat what other players said, but that was for a one-shot. It was a bunch of fun though. I am glad that you could look back on this and have fond memories of fun times with your friends, and I hope that the rest of the campaign went well. I am interested if OP is still playing D&D and other RPGs to this day. I would hope that they are. But with that lighthearted and fun note, we have come to the end of this horror story. Leave me a like, subscribe, and in the comments tell me what was your wackiest character idea. I'm pretty sure that mine is still the 8-year-old goblin monk. The link to the original story is in the description. You can find my social media links down there as well. And with all of that being said, I will see you next time.